Pick one daily habit that you can do, one task that you usually don't do that would require discipline. So it might be, for example, wiping your computer desk every day. And every day, you probably wouldn't need that, right? After you like wipe it down today, you probably wouldn't really need it tomorrow, but just do it anyway, just to get into the habit of it. Or it could be, for example, making your bed every day. That's a nice one. Make your bed kind of nicely. Or it could be, for example, making sure that you don't have rubbish in your room, taking down the rubbish bin every single day. It's very important that you just start with something small. Start with just one habit, and then you can make it into like a habit tracker like I've just got here. Like, just write the days of the month and then just have that as the habit, and then you just tick it off when you're done. We want to level this up so that you actually start to accomplish bigger goals, because, just cleaning up your room is kind of nice, but we really want to like build something, right? So let's talk about some big goals and how you'd actually level up your discipline. For example, let's say building an aesthetic body, like a 10 out of 10 physique from the gym. The way to use discipline for this is to figure out the exact constraints, the micro task, the current area of weakness, a specific task that you're lacking in. So for example, with building a nice physique in the gym, a lot of guys think it's working out and dieting, and then they're trying to like discipline themselves in those two areas, working out and dieting, working out and dieting. Sure, when you first begin, discipline is like going to the gym, because you might not want to go to the gym, but after a while, you start liking the gym, you start being motivated for it. So it's like you're not using discipline to go to the gym anymore. This is like a very interesting point. A lot of guys who go to the gym think that they're disciplined, but they're not, because they're motivated for it. You take that same guy and put him in front of a computer and tell him to do 90 minutes of deep work, and he can't. So it's not about that, you're disciplined if you go to the gym. If you're motivated for the gym, then it's not discipline. It's not even like, it's still difficult, but it doesn't require discipline because you felt like going. So let's say right now you've been going to the gym consistently, you've been making some progress, right? You're probably kind of motivated for it right now, which means that your discipline is kind of saved for something else. Most guys will just stop here and wonder why they're making less gains as time goes on. You make like the noob gains and then you just kind of plateau after that. Most guys wonder why. It's because you're not utilizing discipline in the next level, the next step. So you're consistently going to hit the workout, but there's somewhere in the realm of fitness that currently requires your discipline, which you're not very conscious of, and it's a very specific task. That task could be something as specific as making sure your kitchen scale has always got chargeable batteries inside of it, batteries that are charged so it turns on, because sometimes you might find that when the battery dies, you don't end up tracking your stuff for like weeks at a time. Or it could be, for example, making sure that you fill up your water bottles at nighttime and keep them next to your bed so that the exact moment that you wake up, you can start to drink a lot of water and hydrate before you work out in the day. It's like these new specific habits require your discipline right now compared to the big thing that used to, like going to the gym. So you do see, this is the way to level up. At first, we use discipline for some of the core activities, like, just eating protein or going to the gym. But soon those activities kind of feel like a little bit automated, like they become habits and they don't really require much discipline anymore. Most people will just stop here. What you need to do is figure out, okay, what's the next thing that I could discipline myself on that will still get me some results? And this is how, like, the concept of, there's less to gain the more progress you've made. At first, to make progress, you just go to the gym. But then after that, you've got to start tracking your macros. After that, you've got to start tracking your micros. After that, you've got to like perfect your sleep. There's less and less and less things for you to improve on, which is the nature of becoming an expert or a master in your craft. For example, another micro task could be going straight to the yoga mats after you finish your workout, grabbing one of the mats, setting it down, and just stretching for like 2 minutes. Over the grand scheme of things, that would help you in your goal of building this 10 out of 10 physique, because you'll be way more like flexible and you'll be able to get better range of motion in the lifts, right? So it's like, that's a very specific micro task. That is the thing that would need discipline. The exact moment when you finish a workout, but you stay, even though you don't want to, even though you don't feel like it, you stay to stretch for a couple of minutes. That's where you need discipline right now. It's these small micro tasks, these little pockets of potential that you're leaving on the table because you're only focusing on the basics. These things seem insignificant right now, don't they? But it is these micro tasks that will make the difference between you being a winner or a loser 5 years from now. Use your discipline for a new micro task for every goal that you have. And in some time, that micro task will become a habit too. So for example, right now, it would require discipline for you to stretch after you work out. So like when you finish a workout, you don't feel motivated to stretch. You're making all these excuses, but then you say to yourself, no, I know that discipline means that I'm gonna have all these excuses. I'm just gonna like turn my brain off and just go and stretch for a few minutes. After maybe a couple of weeks, this will become a habit and you might even start to enjoy it. So you might finish the workout and just be used to going to stretch. At that point, you're no longer using discipline. So it's time to find the next micro task after that to continuously keep making progress in this goal. Here is your actionable step for this part of the guide. Figure out a specific micro task that needs discipline that would get you some kind of progress in a goal of yours and add it up to your habit tracker. And if I was you, get the habit tracker and stick it up on the wall. This isn't just for the video, by the way. This has literally been on my wall for about a week now. And if you know me for a while from my videos, should I just show you quickly? I always have stuff over my wall. So obviously I've got like the YouTube Plex there, but a lot of the papers you can see, like those ones, they've got like habit trackers, they've got goals and everything like that. I really think that's an extra step that you can take. Just have a habit tracker. If you make one right now, stick it up, add in the daily little discipline that we had from the last time, maybe clean up your room, and then also add some goal specific ones. So let's say you've got 3 goals. For fitness, the specific task could be, okay, stretch for 1 minute at the end of the workout. For your work, it could be to read 3 pages of a book every single day. Or it could be, for example, to meditate or something. And then let's say for relationships, it could be to just hug your mum first thing in the morning as soon as you see her. Easy things, right? They're not actually that difficult. They're easy things, but there might be things that you don't consistently do right now because you don't really feel like it. So please remember this, the next time you're about to do one of these tasks, you will genuinely not want to. You will probably not be motivated. Your brain will probably start coping and saying, I don't have time, I'll do this, it's a bit awkward, it'll start to cope. Just remind yourself, that is the sign that you are using discipline. It's specifically when your brain is trying to convince you against it, which is awesome because now you're training like against that weak part of your mind that wants you to be complacent and mediocre and weak. We're destroying it with our own intentional effort. The next time that you finish up a workout, walk blindly, like automatically to the yoga mats, get one, and literally just like do a cope stretch is what I call it. Like literally just like, just grab your knee, you do a little stretch for like 30 seconds. Because the idea is you're not trying to be like some professional, flexible person right now. You're starting with this almost like a child would. And the idea is if you did this, 3 times a week, 5 times a week, 7 times a week right now for the next year, 5 years, bro, in 5 years time, you're going to be like the most flexible person. You'll be able to do all like the weird shit, and like that would genuinely help you. You would genuinely unlock your body and be able to like just work and move so much better. And the same with, for example, 30 seconds of meditation today. You don't feel like it, it's kind of boring and it drags on a little bit, but you start with 30 seconds or a minute today and you keep doing it, even though you don't feel like doing it, for an entire year. And by the end of the year, you're probably used to doing 10 minutes every single day, which is perfect. 10 years from now, you're meditating 20 minutes a day, 30, 40, 1 hour every single day, which is insane when you compare that to like normal people. This is how you get ahead in life. It is always these small micro pockets. This is how you end up having like a relationship with your parents so much better than everyone else our age. Everyone's so individual and so like, so against family, like almost no one's family orientated these days. When you're the guy who simply all you do is discipline yourself to just hug your parents every single time you see, like every morning when you see your parents, if you live with them. I always hug my mother. Like it's not hard to do. It's just that often you don't really feel like it. Your brain tries to convince you that it's awkward or something. It's a 10 out of 10 habit for me now. It doesn't require discipline. I just do it kind of blindly. And I saw literally just saw the smile because it's morning time right now. I just saw the smile on my mom's face as always every time I hug her in the morning. I'm just used to it. If you've already got some kind of value from this video and you think that it's really helping you, please just do me a little favor. Do the YouTube algorithm stuff. I hate saying this, but it really does work. So the like and the comments and spam the comments and share the link to some friends. If you know that there's some people who would benefit from more discipline in their lives, maybe some guys who are on self-improvement or some guys who should be on self-improvement. If you send this link to a couple of people, that would be huge for me. And my goal with these guides that I'm spending a lot of time on is that even years from now, you keep mentioning it to people. That would be like the greatest gift you could ever give me, is that you just casually just say it to someone like, oh yeah, you should watch Hamza's full discipline guide. That would genuinely bring like the biggest smile on my face, because if you're spreading word of mouth to other people, that means that I've really produced something which has contributed to humanity, which is awesome.